Angelingua gloriosa, corporis mysterium, sanguinis preciosi, quem in mundi pretium. Angelingua gloriosa, corporis mysterium, sanguinis preciosi.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Christianity Reloaded. Today, I'm going to talk about those people, those Catholics. They normally identify themselves as traditional Catholic, but we don't have anything that goes by traditional Catholics. You know what I mean? These people, they are caught up with talking about the, the traditional Latin Mass and the Novus Order Mass, the new Mass. Some of them are so fanatic and they live in a bubble, in echo chamber, because look, we have 1.4 billion Catholics around the world, and less than 6 million goes to Latin Mass. The rest, a billion plus, is Novus Order they are going to. And these people, they want to tell you that going to Novus Order Mass it can endanger your soul.
To whom reverence matters, to whom right worship matters. I'm on his side. Not that he should become Orthodox, but I don't know if you're going to a Novus Ordo church. The first thing I recommend is that you find a Latin church. She says, my husband and I are afraid his eternal soul may be in jeopardy if he decides to leave the Catholic Church. His soul and a lot of other souls may be in jeopardy if they stay in the Novus Ordo. His eternal soul may be in jeopardy if he decides to leave the Catholic Church. His soul and a lot of other souls may be in jeopardy if they stay in the Novus Ordo, not if they leave the Catholic Church.
This is what some of them say. And this is so bad because I see some people, they represent themselves as Catholic, and now they are seeing like this Novus Order Mass is just not, is worse like paganism. That's how they take it. Like, and the way they say like Jesus, did Jesus celebrate Mass in Latin? You can argue about that, but there's no evidence that Jesus celebrated Mass in Latin, or even the apostles. You know what I mean? And the people, and these people, most of them that say, caught up with this kind of Latin Mass, these people, you don't hear them talking about mercy, love. No, they are like Pharisees. That's what it is. And you can see in this sister call herself Mariam. She's responding to somebody that asks about, you want to go join Orthodox, and he said, where do you go? You go to Onobus or the Mass, look at what she said about this Onobus or the Mass, and tell me whether you can say that this person have love, or even a pure Catholic, because this is why Pope Francis banned the Latin Mass, because of somebody like her. That's why. And you see the reason why. There's a genuine reason why Pope banned it. Because now you are making your Christianity all about this particular aspect of Mass. You know what I mean? Like the apostle started with the Latin Mass. No, at a point, that's when Latin Mass developed. It was not there in the first 100 years of Christianity. Latin Mass was not there. At a point, it was developed properly in Latin. The same thing with Novus Ordo Mass, the same church that did the Latin Mass, the same church that developed this Novus Ordo Mass. And these people are just so extreme and fanatic. You know what I mean? And they, you call yourself, because you live in America, you think like everyone, every Christian cares about Latin Mass. I love Latin. You know what I mean? I enjoy when a priest starts saying some of the liturgy in Latin. I enjoyed it. I listen to Latin songs, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna say, oh, if you don't go for Latin mass, the other one is will endanger your soul, and you call yourself a Catholic, and you're saying stuff like that. You know what I mean? So this is really bad, and I see people that does about this Latin mass where is I think is in America and in France that they talk about this. They carry over this Latin mass. It's gonna be Latin mass. Most Catholic doesn't even know about. They have not been to a Latin mass before. Does it make them less Catholic? No, it doesn't. They are still Catholic. But some people are just caught up like Pharisees. They want to wash the outside of the cup and don't wash the inside. That's what it is. There's no, these people, most of them are fanatic, completely fanatic. You know what I mean? It's all about religious rituals. You know what I mean? It's gonna be Latin mass. If it's not Latin mass, and some of them even if they don't have Latin mass, they want to go to church. You see that's how insane somebody's gonna be to say, oh, I'm not gonna go to mass because I didn't see any Latin mass around me. You see, you are your own. You are in a different religion. You're not even a Catholic in my own because even up to today, Latin mass is not universal. It's not universal. It's not what Catholic does around the world. If you go to most places in the world, is the Novus Ordo Mass. You see, you know what I mean? The Latin mass is ancient. I'm not saying people we should do away with it. We should not do away with it. I love Latin, but if you kind of this kind of narrow-minded and fanaticism is wrong, and this is what is causing problem. This is why Pope Francis said, no. If these people I can't tolerate people thinking that way. This is fanaticism. And I'm going to ban the Latin Mass. It's even people that have this kind of opinion that make the Latin Mass be banned, to be honest. You know what I mean? Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our video. Peace.